Hey everybody, I'm Dawn Zoldi, the CEO of P3 Tech Consulting.
And I'm Dave Krause, co-owner of Influential Drones.
We really appreciate this opportunity to talk about safety with you today.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago was National Drone Safety Awareness Week, and it was important to us to create content that would bring awareness to the week as a whole. So what Dawn and I did was record videos, a little bit of snippets on topics of every single day, and Drone Life was kind enough to push it out. We had an amazing producer that helped us along the way, Mike Patel. And, it really was just a fun project. We got some awesome blooper reels and, eventually we'll probably put those out. But
I'll be frightened by that, but Dave is the FAA safety team's lead industry rep, and for those that don't really know me, I spent 25 years in the United States Air Force, and as I became more senior, one of my duties was to review all the aircraft accident investigations, including for the large drones. So, I personally have seen what happens when safety goes bad. And the point of this video is really to tell you, to re-emphasize that safety is not about 1 week, and it's never one and done. It's a culture, and it's something that has to remain ongoing.
Dawn's absolutely right. As a community, we need to be safety conscious. And if we're not practicing good habits, we're developing bad ones. So let's not lose focus on the wonderful week we had a few weeks ago. And let's just keep pushing safety and spend some time on FAAsafety.gov.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the first day there, Dave, in the trust test a little bit. So I have a drone, and I took the trust test. So first of all, I have to tell you, this isn't a nice do, it's a must do. It's required by law. It's free, it's super easy. And if you go to the QR code on this slide, you'll find the information that you need to take it.
The best part about the trust test is that it's free and you can't fail. It's purposely designed by the FAA to make it readily accessible for all, but it's going to give you enough that you're become aware of the rules, and you know that the airspace you're operating in is shared by a lot of people, commercial drone operators, as well as people who fly manned aircraft, helicopters, and whatnot. So it's a really good test, and I encourage everybody to take it. If you click on that QR code, there's links to providers, and be sure to check out that YouTube link as well, and you can watch the whole video that we did last week.
Oh, that's a great point. And, day 2, we talked about registering and marking your drones. And, that's really the first thing you need to do when you get a drone. Just go onto the drone zone, super easy. Once again, you just, set an account, and this one is only $5. It takes just a couple seconds to get everything in there. You print out your code basically, and you just got to get it on the drone. If you go to that QR code, it'll take you to the place where you need to go to make all that happen.
It's very easy. And just remember FAA Drone Zone, because that's where you're going to go for a lot of things.
Very good point. All right, we're talking about communities now. And I can't really emphasize enough how important it is to become part of a community. In fact, just the concept that you are right now watching this video, if you go on to the webinar that you're in now or other similar ones, and you go there regularly, over time, you're going to see the same names popping up. You're becoming part of a community.
Right. And communities are things like Clubhouse. They are, organizations that you can join in person. You can join national membership organizations that, you don't meet in person very, a lot. There's local groups, there's local flying clubs. There's so many things that you can get a part of or be a part of. When we get out of COVID, you can even attend FAA safety in-person seminars and learn that way as well.
Yeah, and we're forgetting to remind you, but at the bottom of all of these slides are the YouTube links for all of these videos. So just as we go, just a reminder for that. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, a lot of rules here, a lot of QR codes, and you can see them there at the bottom. As a licensed attorney, which I also am, rules are something that's very important to me. And this year, the FAA came out with a bunch of groundbreaking rules, everything from remote ID, ops over people, moving vehicles at night. Those QR codes will get you there to the FAA information on all of them.
Right. All those rules are important to follow. Prior to the recent rule change in April 2021, for example, you weren't allowed to fly over people or at night unless you had a waiver. Now it's a performance-based evaluation where you get to self-evaluate. And this is why it's important to, develop good habits and to understand what you're doing, because now you're assuming that risk yourself and you're making that go or no go decision, which is similar to what the manned aviation world does. You also have over there the QR code for remote ID. That's just a lot to talk about. So find all that information there. And lastly, sporting events. We all love our sports teams. Doesn't really matter which one's your favorite. I'm right here in Philadelphia myself. But the FAA does not want us flying over stadiums. And certain sports events, you're not allowed to fly over as well. Check out that QR code. It's game day. Keep your drone at home is the theme. And see which organizations or events the FAA has identified to just keep your drone on the ground those days.
Public safety and public acceptance is kind of interesting. When I first saw that the FAA had combined these two topics together, I scratched my head a little bit. But then, you know what? The light bulb came on, because public safety, when they use drones, they are so visible, and it really does impact public acceptance. So that connection between public safety and public acceptance is very strong. But on the upside, there's a lot of drones for good stories, and I'll let Dave talk a little bit about that.
So I really get excited when I see the drone for good stories, because it not only shows the potential of drone technology, but it also, in most cases, it's saving a life. So on the corner of the screen are a couple of news articles, and each one of them is pretty unique on its own. Local police departments team up and find a missing blind man. That's amazing. Heat-seeking drone finds a 6-year-old in a cornfield. Drone saves a surfer's life from a shark. And it's even used to protect beaches. Public safety has or first responders have a pretty tough job. And the FAA has a rule that we're not supposed to be putting drones up and interfering with their emergency operations. So what I would suggest is, when something is going on, you'd like to get a bird's eye view, keep that drone on the ground and just tune in on the evening news at night and get the information that way.
Yeah, and Dave, before we go to the next slide, the other thing I want to say is, public safety are not just the ambassadors for drones. Anybody out there flying one, you are part of the community. Therefore, you are the drone, crowd, basically. And so, anything you do really impacts public perception. So let's keep the good news stories coming.
Absolutely. We're either setting the example or we're being the example.
Yeah.
It's better to set it and just keep growing this industry.
So true. So true.
So the purpose of Saturday and Sunday's theme is to go out there and explore. Have an awesome time, meet up with your friends, show them your drone, watch theirs, and talk amongst yourselves and share stories. Make yourself a better pilot by showing off your skills and honing your skills.
And don't forget to, besides that checklist that was in the last QR code in the last slide, don't forget to set up your FAAsafety.gov account. So much information there. I know, Dave, you've actually contributed to that website and some of the information on there, if you want to tell them a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the FAAsafety.gov website is the FAA's approved education arm. It is ran by the FAA safety team. And the mission of the FAA safety team is to promote a safety culture. The mission of the FAA is to ensure the safety of the national airspace. So the two things go hand in hand. And the FAAsafety.gov website is free. You can create an account online. You can sit in the comfort of your home, and you can take classes that will educate you and bring you up to speed on aviation. A lot of the content on there is manned aviation related, but there are certain things in there, even of those topics, which are of value. Anything relating to risk, anything relating to, weather preparation, pre-flighting, crew resource management, anything relating to human factors, which is, that'll affect your decision making. Those are all good things for you to take classes on. And as Dawn had pointed out, one of the things that I'm helping to contribute is courses on FAAsafety.gov relevant to UAS. So right now there are 5 courses on there, and I encourage you to check out, watch that video that we did on Drone Life, and all the QR codes are in there, and take those classes and just become a better pilot. What I'd like to stress lastly is that the FAA's website is free, and the FAA is the authority. But sometimes when you're watching these videos, you're going to realize there's a lot involved. Don't just settle on those courses on FAAsafety.gov. If you need hands-on training, if you want to really dive in and learn more, go ahead and do that. And there's plenty of private companies around the country that do that. There's partners of the FAA as well. But make sure that you are a good pilot, a safe pilot, and you know what you're doing, because we all share those skies together.
Absolutely. And we want you to get that out there and have fun. And if you have a business, we want you to succeed and to make some money, if you're Part 107. So that really is a great segue to our last slide. And that's my podcast, by the way. The Dawn of Drones, it's every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And it was such a privilege to have both Dave and Patricia Mathis from FAA's safety team. She's the manager of it. She's the head of it. On the podcast in the middle of Drone Safety Awareness Week. So if you didn't get a chance to see that, go back and watch it, because great stuff. She even talks about how you can get involved on the FAA safety team as well. Go ahead, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to either Dave or I. You have our emails there, our websites.
So with that, I think we're pretty much done with this video, and you'll probably be seeing the two of us again. But until then, Dawn, I think we got one last time. We're going to say it for him, right?
Absolutely. 1, 2, 3.
Fly safe.
Safe.